and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by Johnny Paulus.
Hey,
Johnny, welcome in. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. My vacation just started. I am off.
Vacation.
Yeah, I'm off Thursday, Friday, going to the beach, and I'll be back Monday. Of course, it's going to rain all weekend, but I will be at Bethany Beach this weekend. Sometimes it just works out like that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, a rainy day at the beach is better than a sunny day at work any day.
That's true. But, in Bethany, like, your rain options are far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're in Ocean City proper and can be like, let's go do the indoor mini golf or laser tag. It's right there. So you might be traversing to Ocean City.
We will find a way to squeeze out a fun weekend, I promise.
So, what is it? Like 140? No, it's like 145th or between 5th and 8th. So like right in Fenwick.
Yeah.
Next to the Australian like mini golf place.
Okay, that's not ringing a bell, but okay.
There's like dinosaur golf. But behind it is an arcade that also has a huge fucking laser tag arena.
What's the name of it?
I can send it to you.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
Please do. That sounds like fun.
But that shit is so dope. And even if it's just like kids v parents,
right,
or one parent teams up with each kid, kind of thing, it's a blast. We did that last year, and it was really fun on a rainy day.
Awesome. I definitely got to do that.
And it's dirt. Great. It's dirt cheap.
Awesome. Even better.
The arcade's dirt cheap, and it's a ticket arcade. And they sell fucking slushies that are amazing.
Done. Sold. Yeah.
So like super cheap family thing.
Hell yeah.
Great for when it's raining. You can almost make most of a day of it around that and like dinner or something. So
sounds like a plan to me. I'm down.
I'll shoot you my rainy day options.
Yeah, please do. Please do. That's a hot take right there.
Yeah, I'm heading in that direction briefly. I'm pulling you this week, and I'm just playing show after show after show. And so tomorrow I'll be back at the weed dispensary. Friday,
you're slowly growing mountain.
My God. Friday I'll be in like Leesburg, Virginia.
Okay.
For some event. I think it's like rich people kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like it.
And then Saturday, heading out east to the jetty and playing in the afternoon. So
got it. Cool.
I hope. I wonder if it's going to be rainy there, because that'll be great.
It's supposed to be pretty nasty this weekend, from what I've heard.
Big rainy deck party at the jetty.
Yeah, I think jetty's going to be pretty gross Friday or Saturday. You said Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's going to be gross that day. I think it's supposed to be pretty rainy basically all weekend.
I can't wait to drag all my gear over there, get rained on, and play some fucking Creed.
Dude, if I were playing in a cover band and every single set we ever played, they said, "All right, Johnny, you know what we do on the second set? You've got a choice to make. Do you want to cover the Creed song, or I'm going to punch you in the dick?" And I'll go ahead, bring it on. Let's go. Punch me in the dick, because I don't want to play Creed.
I'm playing Creed, dude. They even asked at practice, I'm like, can we put this one on the cutting floor? I mean, surely nobody gives a fuck about Creed. And they're like, no, man, it actually does really well when we play it.
God, of course it does.
I'm like, why don't we just add some fucking Nickelback while we're at it?
Ugh. Yeah, no thanks. Hard pass. Hard pass.
So I've been all day today. I have all my instruments out next to me. I've been working on memorizing the 50-song set, because I've already learned how to play them all. Now I'm just committing them to memory, so I don't have to stare at a fucking tablet.
Yeah.
The entire time. So I have 30 of them memorized. I got 20 to go.
You're such a machine, dude.
So
I am not wired that way at all. There's no way you give me 50 songs that I could sit down and memorize them in a week. There's no shot.
Yeah. Yep. It's just how my brain ticks. I'm a good bass player. What can I say?
No, for me, it'd have to be like extreme circumstances. It'd be like you're off for the entire week, and on the weekend, we're going to give you $5,000. It'd be like, okay, I can do this.
Well, what I do, and here's the method behind the madness.
Yeah,
right?
let's hear it.
I group all the songs that I should be able to play blackout drunk together. Yeah. And I learned those first. So like My Chemical Romance, I'm Not Okay, fucking Panic at the Disco, Paramore.
Right.
Blink-182, all that shit.
Where it's like 3 bass lines for the entire song.
It's literally all 1, 4, 5. Every single song. So root, 4th, 5th, every single. So I group all those together and I knock them out first. And then I'll sit down with the songs that are actually complicated, pull up the sheet music, and play it 5 times with the sheet music. And the 6th time, I turn off my sheet music and I just go from memory and I stop whenever I fuck up.
Okay, and just start over?
Correct.
Got it.
And that's how I do it.
Okay. It's a smart way to do it, yeah.
So,
because you really don't want to start over. So you're like, come on, I know there's something funny here at the end of the bridge.
Yeah, like there's one song in here that, I never thought like to sit down as a musician and be like, oh yeah, like I should learn this song. It's got to be awesome. But it turns out like this song that, I kind of just always blew off has a fucking amazing bass line to it.
Yeah, what's that?
And it's the Carlos Santana, Rob Thomas song Smooth.
Yeah.
The bass line in that song is complete, nasty, awesome fire. Like it's really good. The song's fucking terrible, but the bass line in it is amazing.
I'm sorry to go on a full-blown ADHD little side trip here, but did I ever tell you the story of the first time I heard that song? I was playing at a gig in Baltimore, and on the PA system, Santana Smooth came on. And I immediately recognized 2 things. Number 1, that's definitely the lead singer of Matchbox 20. And number 2, why the fuck is the guitar player for Matchbox 20 trying so hard to sound like Carlos Santana? And I was going, you believe this shit? I mean, listen, that's the new Matchbox 20. That's definitely, this dude's like just doing a full-blown Santana imitation the whole song. I had never heard the song in my life and was like, why is the dude from Matchbox 20 biting on Carlos Santana out of nowhere? And thankfully figured out shortly after that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Santana made the biggest Phoenix Rising career comeback of all time that year.
Ever. ever.
Yeah, he just had every song on that album was like a #1 hit. Just total meat locker, hook after hook. It was awesome.
The bad one, even the Wyclef Jean song is not very good, but even it was still a hit at the time.
Yeah, everything on there. It was crazy. Santana madness.
Yeah.
So, is this a video game show? What the fuck are we doing here?
It is a video game show. We should talk about some video games.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is episode 133 of your Power Gamer podcast. Welcome in, listeners, viewers. We do ask that you can support our show completely for free. There is no monetized aspect to the show at all. We are just looking to grow our audience. So if you're checking us out on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe, maybe leave a little comment. You can tell Johnny how great his hair looks today, or
it does look pretty good.
You can criticize my neck beard, whatever. Yeah, you've got more on the chin than I do. So your neck beard's I'm just like the neck beard just goes into the beard right now because I've been being lazy. I'm neck bearding hard.
And hey, it happens to the best of us.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple or Google Podcasts, wherever, just take a quick moment and leave a review, preferably of the 5-star variety, because this is the greatest video game podcast of all time. Should you so feel inclined, we would appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude. I don't know about you. Like I will regularly go on Google and search video game podcasts just to see if we ever come up on like the recommended Google. I'm waiting for the day when I type it in and it's like,
well, if you search Power Gamer,
yeah,
we're all that shows up. So there is at least that. We're not paying anybody.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. We're going to start this week's episode by discussing the games we've been playing this week. It doesn't look like we have much to talk about, which really isn't surprising.
Yep.
So we'll just go together. Shall we go together? We'll go together.
Sure, let's do it.
Looks like we've both been playing Marvel Snap.
Yep.
Which undoubtedly we both put on here because we haven't been playing much else besides Starfield and Marvel Snap.
Correct.
So I guess briefly on Marvel Snap, I feel like I'm slacking. I'm slacking, man. I haven't hit Infinite yet. I'm at like 95.
I think I'm at 83 or 84 or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make that push and just wrap that puppy up so I can max out my conquest again. But
yeah, man, the meta's in a weird place this season. There's a lot of shakeups. There's a lot of shakeups this season.
For the one, I guess, nerdy thing we'll say about Marvel Snap, because I'm sure some of you will understand this. To others, it'll sound like a foreign language. The Doom Wave is back.
Yep.
Like if you do the high Evo Doom Wave, that shit is rolling everyone right now because Loki doesn't benefit from high Evo. So you can really jack their shit up. That and Cerebro 3, oddly enough, is really strong right now and getting a lot of cubes. So
yep,
you do like an Invisible Woman, Cerebro, Mystique wall.
Yep.
And that's working really well. So I just thought something weird. I'm playing a Cerebro 3 deck and I don't have fucking Brood in it. What am I doing? I just built it like on the Willy.
That's a 2. That's a Cerebro 2 deck.
Oh, right.
Broods are 2. You know what you can put in a Cerebro 3 deck, and I was experimenting with the new card, Ravonna Renslayer.
Yes, who I don't have.
So here was my thought process with Ravonna, right? So Ravonna lowers the cost of any card that's 1 power or less by 1. So Iron Man becomes a 4, Mystique becomes a 2, Wolfsbane becomes a 2. So in my thought process with Ravonna in a Cerebro 3 is that you get you can do your Cerebro and your Mystique at 2 less cost if Ravonna is down. She's also a 3. And then you also have the backup plan of Iron Man with Mystique, and also 2 more cheeky cards that get lowered cost from Ravonna Renslayer, the Goblins.
Right.
So Hobgoblin is a 4 and Green Goblin is a 2, and you can just throw those out there through those turns. And then if Ravonna's down, Cerebro costs 2, Mystique costs 2, Iron Man costs 4. It's kind of nasty.
The one question I had about her, and then we'll move on from this, is do you know if Fast eliminates her perk?
That's a really good question. I had not.
We'll have to look into that after the show.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I had not thought about that. I bet it would. I think it would. I think she would still lower their costs. So yeah, that's a good call. We could throw Boston there. I'm really not liking Eliath, and I'm really not liking
that card's broke as fuck.
How dominant Loki was. I know he's
well, and this is in part why I'm running the Evo Doom Wave.
Right.
Is because I will Doom off from Eliath.
Right.
And then, that just completely nerfs him.
Yeah.
But it's the only card that really does that.
Yeah, the other counter I found for Eliath, believe it or not, Heimdall. Because they play the Eliath in that lane, and you just smooth everything over without them.
Yeah.
So you just do like a secret Heimdall. You have a deck that you would not think would have a Heimdall, and then you just
if you wall things behind Invisible Woman, does she act the same way with Eliath that she does with like Shang-Chi and stuff, where Eliath won't kill the unrevealed cards? Or
ooh, good question. No, I think Eliath. I think it would reveal the card, and then Eliath would destroy whatever card was played that turn. It wouldn't destroy the lane, obviously.
Well, it's because Invisible Woman's cards reveal after the game's ended.
Right.
So, I don't know. But anyway, enough Marvel Snap talk. We're probably boring people to tears here. Very interesting to a select few.
Yeah.
Starfield.
My God, Starfield.
Yeah, I'm having a great time with this game. Really am. I haven't gotten to play as much of it as I want to. I think I added like another 10, 12 hours this week. which feels like a lot, but no. I've been having to spend so much time with my instruments that I just really haven't gotten to fully get lost in that game yet. But I've still gotten a lot done. I don't know about you, but I have been completely ignoring the main quest, and I finished 2 entire faction chains already.
I'm about to I'm about to finish my second major quest chain, and the third one is right behind it. So I have two of the factions. I'm on the last mission for 2 factions right now. So like probably tonight I'll have 3 major factions done. I felt with the main quest line, I felt like I was inching toward flirting with kind of getting near the end, and that's when I was like, I don't want to get there yet, so I'm gonna start doing all these side quests and shit. Because I've heard the actual campaign, if you just go like just focus on the main quest, it's only like 17, 18 hours. So the main quest line is pretty short, and you could accidentally get in a point where you're like, shit, I'm there already.
Well, then you just New Game Plus and keep going.
Which I think is what a lot of us are going to end up doing.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm having a great time with it. I really don't have much to say critically of Starfield. I mean, it's a Bethesda game, which if you know what that means, then you know what you're getting into, but
yep.
It's great. It's everything I wanted. You know what I mean? It truly is. I don't think it's at any risk of changing my mind about Tears of the Kingdom being the best game this year. Like, it's really just not gonna do that at all.
No, agreed.
But for what it is it gonna have longer legs for me than Tears of the Kingdom? Hell yeah. I've been playing this game for a long ass time.
Same.
And it caters to me better. I'm more lost in this game than, you know, I
dude, I haven't been this hooked on a video game in a very long time. I think I'm at almost 60 hours.
It's so good. Yeah, I'm at 25. But
yeah,
all those other hours, as we discussed in the opening segment, have been
right. Yep.
happening over here.
Doing the slappy doos right there.
Yeah.
Have you messed around with outposts at all? Have you started putting down bases anywhere yet? That's one of the things I just started messing with, because I'm getting to a point now where I have a huge ship with a ton of cargo, and it's full, and I'm full, and like I need a place to store this shit. So I really am to the point where like I have to build a base, I have to build storage containers, I have to start, because I can't fit it all on the ship anymore. I can't.
Yeah, and from what I've heard from like a lot of the other podcasters I listen to and stuff, you're at about the point in the game where that even begins to be a thing. Like, I'm at the 25-hour mark. You're just along for the ride at that point.
Yep.
But
well, yeah. I mean, I've kind of up until this point, I really haven't had a lot of problem of doing a bunch of quests and then going and vendoring everything, and then do a bunch of quests and go and vendor everything. And now it's like, do a bunch of quests and the ship is full and I'm full and the vendors have no money, and I don't. It's like I don't want to throw anything away, but like I can't just have this shit here. But I mean, no. To circle back with what you were saying, is this the game of the year? No. I mean, I think Tears of the Kingdom just ran away with it. There's just not really any competition there. But I had a real emotional moment with this game a couple nights ago. I was sitting up late and I was playing Starfield and I was really sucked in, and the thought occurred to me like a slap to the face, and that was that Jason would have really loved this game.
Jason, oh yeah, definitely. So would Dave. This is right up old Dingle's alley.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And I just I remember your first comment on this game is that it feels dated, and as much as we can rib it for that, and it's like slight bugginess, it's also a part of the charm with Bethesda games. It's just,
oh yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, it's just kind of how they are. But I mean, I don't know if you were watching last night when I was streaming. By the way, shout out to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/H3LLH3RO, Hell Hero with 3s for ease.
It's shockingly back to life. Yeah,
we are back to life. But I was streaming last night and I was doing a quest where I had to follow somebody to the next thing, and she just got caught up, and she just kept like going back and forth.
Oh yeah, that
Back and
Bethesda
forth.
jank
And I
was
was
in
like,
full
dude,
force.
come on, please. Like, the only thing I have in this quest right now is to literally follow you, and you won't go where I need you to go. So then I was like, fine. And I just like left the room and went through a door and then came back, and she kind of, caught some energy and got back on her path. But I mean, there is a little bit of jank there, but I feel like the ceiling is so high on this with the amount of planets there are, with the amount of ships there are. And then even once you've exhausted all of that, you can then build ships beyond that. You can build outposts beyond that. And then we're going to be modding this game for the next fucking 15 years. This is the next Skyrim, period. This game is going to be modded to the teeth. You better believe there's going to be fucking Star Wars mods, and you name it, it's going to happen.
Naked
There's going to
aliens.
be a ton of... Oh, I'm sure Naked Aliens is probably already a thing. I'm sure. I guarantee if you go on Nexus Mods right now, there's probably a naked skin for all of the characters that you can party with, so they can just run around next to you naked. Because for some reason, people that mod Bethesda games really like doing that.
Gotta have those
Never
dong
understood
physics.
Yeah, dude, they go hard in the paint on those mods. But no, I mean, just regular, even just quality of life mods. I mean, I remember when I got really heavy into Skyrim about maybe a couple years after release, and somebody had made a mod where all it was different button assignments for all of the spells, and you got really good at like, well, if I hold the right bumper, I have all those spells, and if I hold the left bumper, I have all those spells. So you didn't have to keep switching stuff. And that's what I keep thinking is like, I'm waiting for mods like that, where it's like, you have this key command on your keyboard is that power, and this key command is that power, and like somebody's going to figure that out and crack the code and have some crazy shit that is going to make just quality of life stuff better. But no, Starfield's fucking awesome, and yeah, I'm going to be playing this for a very, very long time. I can't stop.
Yeah, I feel like, kind of swinging back to what we were saying with Tears of the Kingdom, where like that one's just safe. Like the next, I guess when we get to that point in the year where we're talking about what's the best games that we played that came out this year, it's a given, I think, that even at this stage that we're probably going to consensus say Tears of the Kingdom. Octopath Traveler 2 is still right there next to it for me.
Right.
So I would say, folks, if you haven't sunk your teeth into Octopath Traveler 2 yet, that I gave it a 9.8. Okay.
Yeah, that's a stupid score for you.
Yes. It is just, I still think about it almost every day.
Wow.
The story in that game is just so great. And then Jedi Survivor I have right behind that at a 9.5. So,
and Spider-Man's right around the corner. Spider-Man is a month away from today, and it looks goddamn magnificent.
Yeah, it really does. I can't wait to sit down with that and get back into it. I just hope that I've had enough time.
Yeah.
I still want to finish Armored Core 6. I haven't even had a chance to fucking turn that shit on this week.
Yeah.
I want to finish that. Obviously, I want to get through Starfield.
Yeah.
And there's some other things I need to swing back around on, like Hogwarts Legacy. I need to loop back and play. I feel comfortable in just skipping Atomic Heart this year.
Yeah.
I feel pretty okay about just letting that one go. Obviously, I don't think I need to play Forspoken. I've given enough of my time to shit games. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, lots of good things to play this year. It's a strange problem to have where there's so many good games you have to pick and choose. So
yeah, no, this has been a crazy year in games. There's been a lot of really great games released this year.
Ebb and flow. We're in flow right now. I would imagine next year is going to be a little bit of an ebb because we still haven't seen much from anyone. So
well, I think everybody's waiting on some bombs to drop, but we'll get into that later.
Some
in the episode.
holiday bombs.
Right.
So, Johnny, you have anything else to say on the games we've been playing, or are you good?
No, I think I'm good, man. I mean, I think I'm going to be playing Starfield for. I do feel like I'm getting close. I feel like in the next week or two, I'm going to finish a couple more factions, and I'm probably going to go, well, let me finish the main campaign so I can say that I rolled credits on it. But then I still think I'll see myself going back and playing this here and there.
Yeah.
Like I've done with Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, I still fire up Tears of the Kingdom. And go knock out a couple more temples and shit.
I'll say one thing funny. Okay, so
Sure.
I bought Starfield physically for the Xbox and canceled my Game Pass. Right.
Yep.
Which turns out to be an absolutely brilliant move. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
So, what do you think was in my case for Starfield?
A free 30-day trial for Game Pass.
I think it's 3 months.
Oh, there you go.
So, do the math.
You got $45 worth of Game Pass.
So
that means you can play Starfield on PC.
So if I get bored, right? I'm having no issues with it on the Series X. But my point is I think I'm just gonna keep riding this wave, right? Where like if something comes to Game Pass that I want to check out, like maybe I want to fuck around with Lies of P, like when there's nothing else going on. Just pull that out of my Starfield case, drop the code in, have my Game Pass back on for a little bit, play whatever, and then just let it die.
It can just be another Paramount Plus.
And
that's me with Paramount Plus. I sign up and I watch my Star Trek show and then I turn it off.
The next big great Xbox exclusive that comes out, I'll just buy that. Inevitably get another code for Game Pass. And
yeah, it's good thinking.
My God, I've cracked the goddamn code. Just buy.
Now isn't it 3 months for a new account though?
I mean, I could just make a fucking new email if I really wanted to.
Yeah, but then you're not getting your
Who gives
achievements?
A flying rat's ass?
I do. I want my achievements.
I don't care that like if you're telling me that it's only for a new account and it's 90 days, yeah, I'll make slap Dick McGillicuddy 69420.
Yeah, Dick Dong at Gmail. Yeah, sure.
And get my 90 days.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not like if there was the option to do it on my own account, I'm not going to make a new one, but we'll see.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Microsoft, yeah, if you've got a pulse and pay any attention at all to the news, you will notice that Microsoft is losing their shit this week because they just got pantsed in front of the entire fucking universe.
Yep.
With some pretty massive leaks of all the unredacted documents from their court trials with the whole acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Yeah, this is great. This is like Christmas.
Oh, it's some juicy shit for sure
for us. So, I've selected the pieces that I find the most interesting. I'm not going to talk about everything that was revealed. We'd be here for like the next fucking 10 hours.
Pretty much.
And I got more bad pop songs to memorize, so we're not going to do that. But we are going to talk about the ones that I find the most interesting. And Johnny is going to react all over your face for each one of these. So
pretty much. Sounds about right.
Get ready. Here we go.
You need that for the thumbnail.
I'm going to go ahead and get this part out of the way because I like pointing credit to where credit's due. I am basically just running down IGN's press release about this. So just one big sweeping credit to IGN.
Yep.
And with that, so I'm going to be reading from their article, and then Johnny's just going to be Johnny. So here we go. First up, the worst kept secret in the gaming industry. Elder Scrolls 6 will be an Xbox exclusive. Per the drop, the Elder Scrolls 6, the next major installment in Bethesda's fantasy RPG series, entered the early stages of development late last month. But outside of that, in a teaser trailer revealed back at E3 2018, news on this highly anticipated action RPG has been seldom. While Xbox boss Phil Spencer said a PlayStation version of the Elder Scrolls 6 was still up in the air during the trial, this new document recently spotted by Axios reporter Stephen Totillo. By the way, subscribe to his little email newsletter if you haven't. It's fantastic. reveals that the Elder Scrolls 6 is not only skipping PlayStation platforms, but could also release as early as 2026. It should not be entirely surprising, however, that the Elder Scrolls 6 will remain a console exclusive on the Xbox Series X and S. With Microsoft acquiring Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax Media a few years ago, console exclusivity for future ZeniMax titles, both new and exciting, felt like a given. Johnny, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I wasn't surprised by this, and I don't think many of us were. I mean, the moment we heard that Microsoft acquired Bethesda, I don't know about you, but the first thought in my head was, well, we know Elder Scrolls is going to be Xbox exclusive. Period.
Fuck yes. Enough.
Why else would you buy Bethesda?
Enough of this being nice in the sandbox. We want our games everywhere. Fuck that.
Yep.
Give me exclusives.
Yep.
I was looking over some data with, just since the release of Starfield being an Xbox exclusive, and like Xbox console sales in the UK are up something like fucking 200% since Starfield came out. So
that's what this is all about, baby.
Exclusives. I'm so like this stuff. I know it pisses off like the console fanboys that have pinned themselves to, I'm only gonna play on PlayStation. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got plenty to feast on.
Yeah.
However, I was such a big Xbox proponent during the 360 era.
Same.
And I was so let down by the Xbox One.
Same.
And it was just because there was no reason to fucking buy that thing.
Yep.
And I love console exclusives. I love it. Love it. So I'm very happy to see this. I'm very happy to see more and more Bethesda becoming a Microsoft brand. I really hope they do that. Fucking with everyone that they buy. Do it with everyone. You bought them.
Agree.
Do it.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
Give it to us on Game Pass, so I sign back up for that shit.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about exactly what you said about the Xbox One is like since Dreamcast, which was $99.99, I have bought every single video game console from all of the major companies except for an Xbox One. It's the only one I did not buy.
You didn't need it.
I had all 5 PlayStations. I had the GameCube. I had the Wii. I had the Wii U. I have the Switch. I've had them all except for the Xbox One. The Xbox One is the only one that I never felt the need to go buy. And what's funny about this, the console war, I mean, you remember what you and I were both excited when the Xbox One was coming and the PS5 was coming. We were going, oh, it's going to be an old school console war again. Because I remember the old, Sega versus Nintendo where they would talk shit to each other in the ads.
Yeah, Sega does what Nintendo don't.
What Nintendo don't, exactly. And what I find really funny about this is that
Bleeds processing.
when you go on Twitter and you look at like anything positive about Xbox, there's a bunch of Sony fanboys fucking crying about it. And then anytime there's a win for PlayStation, there's a bunch of Xbox fanboys fucking crying about it. And I just don't get it. It's like the same thing as like cancel culture. And don't worry, I know that sounds like a stretch here, but follow me. Both sides
gatekeeping.
Both sides hate cancel culture, but both sides use cancel culture. So on the political spectrum, they only don't like cancel culture when it's on their side. It's the same thing with these consoles.
I feel like you should just substitute cancel culture for gatekeeping.
Sure.
Because I think that's what it is. They don't like it when the console that they haven't selected has a game. There's that gate between them and that entity that they want.
Yep.
But what's funny about that is that anger comes from validation of the product that they can't have being good. So it's really funny to see like people shit talk, because the fact that they're even sitting there shit talking in the first place is validating that the thing that they can't get is awesome.
Yes, exactly.
So stupid.
Yep. No, all the good news is happening with Starfield. And like, look, let's not beat around the bush. I mean, we have been pretty lackluster on this generation on Xbox's side, right? We both have an Xbox Series X, and we've both said on multiple occasions, I don't even know why I have this thing. I don't have any reason
I got that before I got a PS5. I was so pumped for it, you know?
Yeah.
And then crickets.
But here's the thing. Finally, I'm looking at my watch and going, Microsoft finally got a fucking win. I think it's the first time Microsoft's had an actual win in what? 6 years? 7 years? 8 years?
10.
I mean,
it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since Xbox has released something where everybody on the other side went, God damn it, I want to play that game.
Like, you really have to go back to 360 almost, because I don't even feel like Gears 5 brought that energy.
No, I mean,
that's a great game. You know,
the amount of times I've discussed with somebody that had an Xbox One on why I should get one, I would always say the same thing. Name one exclusive title on the Xbox One that is like a must-have, gotta have the console.
Rise, Son of Rome, dog. Rise, Son of Rome.
Sunset Overdrive, bro. Sunset Overdrive, man. I mean, they didn't have that, and now this is why Microsoft bought these companies.
You don't have to sell me on Elder Scrolls 6.
No. No.
You don't have to sell me on Starfield.
I'll take it. Yeah. Right. But that's why they bought these companies. So, you know, Sony fanboys, I hope you can mentally adjust your brains and just know deep down that Doom is going to be Xbox exclusive, bro.
Well, everything.
All these titles.
But there's nothing to be sad about if you're a Sony first supporter. So we live in Maryland, and we both love baseball. Sony's the Baltimore Orioles, man. You know, Baltimore Orioles salary this year, they're the best team in the AL, $61 million.
Yep.
The Yankees, who are like so far out of first place, like $280 million. The Red Sox are in last place, $180 million. That's 3 times our salary. So, you know, Microsoft is the Yankees, and the Yankees going to win sometimes.
Yep.
You know, they're going to get their wins. They're going to be big. They're going to be big splashes. There's going to be a lot of money involved. But Sony plays smart. And at the end of the day, Sony's still got the library that everybody wants.
Yeah. Well, and I think that we are now in a new era of console games where I think every new console is just going to be the next iteration of the same sort of thing, right?
Speaking of which,
yeah, I know we're going to get there.
Activision was briefed on the Switch successor that is the second worst kept secret late last year. Here's the drop.
Yeah.
In recent weeks, multiple reports have surfaced that Nintendo is working on a successor to the Switch. Oh my God, it needs it. Did you see the Mortal Kombat 1 fucking footage?
No, I didn't.
Look it up while I'm talking. Look it up while I'm talking.
Oh my God. Oh no.
And thanks to emails published yesterday, this discussion continues to get more fuel. The emails reveal that Nintendo briefed Activision on a next-generation console in December of 2022. While heavily redacted, one email revealed preparations for a meeting between Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa and several Activision executives, including CEO Bobby Kotick. A note from Kotick, also read aloud during the trial, was visible in one of the emails, noting that the next generation Nintendo console offers performance more aligned with the PS4 and Xbox One. Are you looking at that?
Bro, this looks like 3DS. This is real bad.
It looks like PS2, bro. Mortal Kombat. I don't even know why they released Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch.
That's really bad.
It's atrocious.
Oh my God.
I was watching somebody stream Mortal Kombat 1 last night. Oh my God, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, it looks
It's
great.
like watching a movie. And I know like a lot of the games in that series have been that way, but like because this one's a reboot, it's going back to the beginning. You know what I mean? And it's so good. I actually kind of like either just want to watch somebody play the entire thing, you know what I mean? Or I actually want to get this.
I'm honestly really surprised you haven't jumped down the Street Fighter 6 rabbit hole.
Street Fighter was my thing back in the SNES era. If I'm looking at those two series today, Mortal Kombat shit's all over it, man. Like, just a presentation of a single player game. Mortal Kombat, baby. All the way.
God, I'm still watching this YouTube video. I can't take my eyes off it. It's
a train wreck. Yeah, so the Switch, as it can't be understated, desperately needs a console refresh, especially for third parties that are producing games for the PS5 and the Xbox. You know, Nintendo's magic sauce that they make great games for their consoles because they're not making those games for anyone else. They're tooled just towards that tool set. It's why we get games like Tears of the Kingdom that are fantastic, why we get the great looking Kirby games, why we get all this Mario IP that's wonderful. It's because they're building to cater to just the one system. But any of these third-party titles that are coming out on modern consoles that are trying to come to Switch as well, get fucked. I mean, it's got to be something like, you know, like an Octopath Traveler 2 or a Blasphemous or something along those lines. But any of these modern games that require like any kind of processing power.
Yeah.
I mean, what even is Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch? What's that supposed to be? I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's the thing is that similar to what Nintendo's kind of always done, except for let me rephrase this. Nintendo's done since the Wii is that they release a console that's already behind. And then they sort of pivoted at the Wii and we're like, it's not about the graphics. We're Nintendo, we do our own fucking thing. It's not about the graphics. And kind of ever since then, I feel like Nintendo's been behind the ball. Every time they release a console, the day one, you look at it and go, this doesn't look better than anything I've ever seen before.
Well, the dynamic with Nintendo is so different than Sony and Microsoft.
Very
because
different,
Nintendo honestly doesn't need third-party support at all.
No, they don't.
It's rather third party is trying to figure out how to get into that gigantic cash cow that is the Switch. So it's different.
Amen.
You know, it's no one's trying to crack the code to get their game on a PS5 so they can make money. And Switch has the biggest player base by a country fucking mile. It's close to the PS4 sales numbers, which is ludicrous. Or is it PS2 that it's close to breaking?
I don't
it's
remember.
Number 2 on the all-time. PS2 is number 1 all time. Switch is number 2. It's close to it. I don't think it's going to get past it, but it's that big of a user base. It's absolutely absurd.
And you got to think about what a dominant era PlayStation 2 was. I mean, fucking everyone had a PlayStation 2.
Well, it's because it was a DVD player.
Yeah,
you know, it was the cheap. It was the cheapest DVD player you could buy for a while. Which anyone under the age of 30 right now is going, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to play a DVD on your TV and you went, wait. This one plays video games. It has a controller and is less money.
The Wii did not have a DVD player.
No, it did not. Now we got to get into the theory crafting, right? What do we think is going to be the switcheroo on this system? Because I don't think Nintendo's ever released a console that wasn't a curveball, unexpected something from the previous line, right? Like the GameCube was.
I think they're done
wacky.
with that.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, look.
Do you think their model? I mean. So here's where I'm trying to pose the question as: do we think it's going to be a screen with the 2 Joy-Cons that slide on and off and a dock that goes on your TV, and it's just going to be that? But
it will absolutely be that. And just a quick correction, okay? They have already done this twice. DS, 3DS, new 3DS, right? That's all the same system, even though they're completely different and have, new 3DS is the only one of the 3 that can run new 3DS games. The 3DS can't run new 3DS. And that's a really confusing one, that new 3DS was its own console generation. The 3DS and the DS. So all 3 of those generations of consoles are the same form. The Wii and the Wii U. Another instance, same exact form.
Yeah, but the Wii U had the screen on the controller, which was a big pivot. So I mean, you're absolutely right, and that's a perfect example. But in the world of home consoles, I feel like it's always been when they release the picture of it, you go, "The fuck is that?" I mean, and that's kind of what they've always done.
But then, okay, so then you got to pick and choose. So is the Wii and the Wii U a direct iteration of each other, or is the Switch a direct iteration of the Wii U? Because it just took that same concept a step further.
It just put it all in one.
Nintendo really hasn't been doing the weird bullshit since the Wii DS generation started. They've been a lot more consistent with their hardware. And they didn't have the consistency with their software front, moving from the Wii U new 3DS generation into the Switch. So I think for them, the big remedy is that, which they've already said they're going to address, which is having the continual digital presence moving forward versus having the reset. So yeah, I think Nintendo's not dumb. They own the portable gaming market, and they have forever. So whatever the system is, they're not going to have two systems ever again. The Switch proved that that's stupid. So it's going to be one system that plays everything, that can hook up to your TV or be on the go. So is it going to be Joy-Cons and everything? Maybe. That could be a little different. You know?
Yeah. I think the controller grip could use a little love. I don't know about you, but for my hands, I can't play the Switch without like the extra little. I have a little thing that it slides onto where it has two little wings on the side, so I can actually like grip it.
I have Donald Trump hands, so I'm fine.
I can't on the regular Switch. Within like 30 minutes or an hour, my hands start cramping up like crazy if I don't have the little. I have a little thing it slides into, and kind of makes it more like a PlayStation.
90% of the time I play my Switch, it's undocked. I'm laying on my stomach on my couch.
Right.
That's how I play the Switch. Like all those crazy Switch games I beat, that's how I played them.
Got it. So spec wise, I mean, what do we think the resolution of the screen's going to be?
We already know.
What do we think? 1080p.
Yeah, it's 1080. It's not going to be OLED.
Okay.
Cost saving measure.
Yeah. Makes sense.
There's some question about back compat. I would be pretty certain that it'll have a drive on it for Switch cartridges. I think it'd be foolish if it didn't, but
I completely agree. Now the other question is, do we think that they're going to go with the naming that you have suggested, which I thought
they won't.
Like the best take you've ever had ever.
It is a great take. They should just name the thing the Super Switch.
It should be the Nintendo Super Switch. Fuck it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, you slaughtered with the Nintendo, and then you went, here's the Super Nintendo. Well, now you fucking absolutely decimated the earth with the Switch. Got to release the Super Switch.
Then you could have Super Mario Odyssey or whatever.
Exactly.
Cool stuff.
Like, I guess it's already Super Mario Odyssey.
Is it? I thought it was just Mario Odyssey.
I think it's Super Mario Odyssey. I could be wrong.
While you're looking at that, speaking of updating consoles, Xbox is getting on the bandwagon too. So here's the drop. Despite Phil Spencer saying multiple times that there's no need for a mid-generation refresh of its Xbox Series game consoles, leaked court documents show that Microsoft is planning to launch hardware refreshes for both the Xbox Series X and S next year. Fucking Phil. The new Xbox Series X, codenamed Brooklyn, is more compact than the original mode, and like the Series S, it lacks a disk drive. The document also reveals that this console will feature 2 terabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM, and will come in 100% recyclable packaging. The updated Series S, codenamed Elwood, will include 10 gigabytes of RAM. Pricing will remain the same as its predecessors, according to Xbox. The document notes that both consoles will be announced concurrently next summer, with Elwood releasing in August of 2024 and Brooklyn releasing in October 2024. Xbox explained placing a 2-month release gap between the consoles in order to give Elwood a moment to shine before Brooklyn becomes the more sought-after console ahead of the holiday 2024 season. So Phil's been saying, even just a couple of weeks ago, he was saying, no, we're not doing that. We don't need a new system midlife cycle. And that sneaky snake Phil, They're already planning it. We got the release dates. We know everything. What are your thoughts on these new updated consoles? What stands out to you?
I love the look of the new X. It reminds me of. Do you remember when they did the Mac Pro that looked like a trash can?
Oh yeah, the little cylinder.
The cylinder. Yeah. That's exactly what the new Xbox looks like. And I also, did you notice that the updated controller? It looks like some more haptics are added, and it looks like the grip is kind of different. I'm more excited about the controller than anything. That controller would be day one purchase for me. I am an Xbox controller guy myself. I always have been. Whenever I'm gaming on the PC, I always prefer the Xbox controller, and it always works really well because it's Windows, so I know it's going to work properly. So yeah, the new controller will be a day one purchase. But I'm personally a little disappointed that they didn't up the RAM on the updated S. I wish if they'd gone from 10 to 12, maybe. I mean, for how cheap RAM is nowadays, I don't understand. I know to try to get it down as low as you can to get that $200 price point. Like, I get it. But now that does feel like the S is kind of holding that generation back. I almost wish that the refreshed S had just a little bit more RAM, because I think that's the main thing that's really kind of hampering it.
So, to no irony of anyone listening to the show, the thing that stands out to me the most is no disk drives. No disk drives. What? None at all on the new consoles. So is that going to make my Xbox Series X, my OG, a highly sought after and collectible item at some point in the future? I think so.
Maybe, yeah. If it is the last true console to have discs,
well,
yeah.
And we're going to discuss this. Well, we can tie this in now. The Series S. There was another leak. So here it is. The Xbox Series S and its place in the 9th generation of gaming has always been a topic of debate as people ponder whether the less powerful console would hold back the Series X in some way. It turns out the console is more popular than the Series X. 75% of Xbox Series owners owning the $300 diskless gaming console. So only 25% of the Xboxes out there are my beloved disc version. So I've already said, this is the last generation I buy physical media. When the new Switch comes out, when the new PlayStation comes out, when the new Xbox comes out, I am done. No more physical for anything moving forward. It's all digital. I can't keep going, and they're just getting more and more pointless.
Yep.
But I do like having discs. You know what I mean? And I like having discs that I can put in and that will play the game.
Yep.
If power gets knocked out, if there's a nuclear strike on the United States, I want to be able to play Starfield before all my skin burns off.
Fair enough.
And I turn into a fucking puddle with an Xbox controller laying in it.
Yep. Well, I mean, I've always kind of considered myself a little bit of a futurist. There's been a lot of shit down the road that I've been like, oh, dude, in 10 years we're gonna absolutely have that, and I'm often right. I think with the console generation, I think if the next refresh, because I think we're gonna get a PlayStation refresh as well.
Oh, we already know it. Yes.
Right. So next year is going to be Xbox refresh, PlayStation refresh, and a new Switch. I think that might be the last generation of the traditional video game console the way we think of it. I firmly believe in the very near future, cloud gaming is going to be king, and you're not even going to have hardware that you fucking worry about. I think the world is going to eventually become Stadia and Luna and all these services that haven't quite pulled off the tech. I think once they pull off the tech, I think the days of having a big box under your TV that costs $500 and draws a ton of power off the wall and puts out a whole bunch of heat, I think that's gonna go away. I really do. And maybe not next generation, maybe not even the generation after that, but that day is going to come when it's going to be like, wait, the internet connection we have is so fucking fast that we don't need any of this shit. We can offload everything. Everybody just pays a subscription service. Oh, you want the new PlayStation 7 content? Here, pay the $30 a month, and you get all the gameplay features of the PlayStation 7. Here's your controller. You're good. I think that day's going to come.
I actually think in the next generation, so Gen 10, you won't see disk drives on either Sony or Microsoft system.
Agreed.
That it's going to be digital only. If you want to play your old disc games, you need to use a Series X, an original Series X. However, I don't see Nintendo abandoning physical media anytime soon.
I agree. Well, because of the portable nature, the fact that they're little cartridges.
Well, and there's a lot of the world that doesn't have the infrastructure for a digital storefront. You know, we take for granted in the United States our internet, but you got to remember, even in a lot of parts of the United States, there is still no internet connectivity.
Yeah, well, your mom gives you the video game you wanted for Christmas, and it's on a card, and you scratch it off, and you put in the code, and then you wait fucking 3 days for your game to download. I mean, literally.
Like when I get out into the boonies of Virginia for my work, the only option is Starlink. There is no cable, there is no fiber.
That's crazy.
It's satellite or bust. And that's right down the street from us. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's not far.
You know, you got to think of most of the US and what that looks like. And remember that, you know, the people that these game companies are catering to are in well-connected cities. Nintendo, however, caters to everyone on the planet Earth. And their systems go anywhere. Their systems don't cost much. So, you know, if you're some kid in overpopulated Mumbai or some kid in, you know, some remote part of Russia or some weird piece of Asia or Europe where there's just nothing, you're still good on a Switch. You just pop your cartridge in, you're ready to rock.
Well, Nintendo's also never really been big on region locking either.
No, not at all. I mean, not on the Switch generation. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember even in the GameCube generation, a coworker brought in.
They're heavily region locked, the GameCubes.
I had a buddy that showed up with a full Japanese GameCube game, and it ran. I mean, the whole box and case and everything was all Japanese.
There are some systems that'll do it and some that won't.
Huh.
It's kind of like with what was it? The Dreamcast was the same way. Like the first iterations were completely unlocked, and the later iterations were not so pleasant. But no, it's certainly not prevalent on the Switch anymore. And I mean, part of the reason for that is because Nintendo made an all-in-one unit. So a big piece of the region locking, like PAL versions, were because TVs in Europe ran at 50 hertz. And you would have to experience your games at the horrible, nauseating frame rate of like a 40 FPS cap. And it just looks horrible. I fucking hate PAL versions of games. You have to have one of those televisions for it to be tolerable.
Ugh. Gross.
I digress. The new Xboxes due out next year. No discs. Another poorly kept secret. Fallout 3 and Oblivion remasters are in the works. So one of the many documents leaked online this week included a 3-year-old document for Bethesda's release schedule prior to Microsoft's acquisition of ZeniMax Media in 2021. The document included some unannounced games, most notably remasters for Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion, and Fallout 3. Other information revealed in this document included the fact that Starfield was forecasted to generate $900 million in revenue, though again, this information is likely dated due to the document being published before Microsoft closed its acquisition of Bethesda's parent company. I don't have much to say. I mean, Oblivion and Fallout 3 desperately need remasters. I mean, maybe
I was going to say Morrowind.
I was about to say the only thing I would say is like Morrowind, guys. No love for Morrowind, but
Morrowind really needs.
I think Morrowind would just take a tremendous amount of fucking work to do, and
that's a big boy.
Oblivion was like one of the first modern built games from them.
Well, and I mean, and even now in 2023, like you can take Oblivion and mod the fuck out of it and make it look pretty all right.
Stock Oblivion's still, to me, it's fine.
Yeah,
as long as you're playing it on a 4x3 aspect TV. Or
yeah. But no, I mean, even on PC, I mean, you can buy Oblivion on PC and download texture mods and graphics mods, and I mean, you can make it look pretty fucking good. I mean, so I feel like, you know, if the remaster is basically that, where it's just upped texture packs and shit, and what's probably going to be the same engine, you know,
well,
why not?
If Elder Scrolls 6, as this article is stating, is expected to come out in 2026, it would make a lot of sense for the Oblivion remaster to come out before that to re-garner interest. So it just makes sense.
I agree. I totally agree.
Let's see. What else do we have here? New Xbox coming in 2028. So this isn't really anything huge. We kind of know the life cycle of machines, but you know, who knows? New Xbox console 2028. That's not that surprising. Nope. More details were revealed about Microsoft's acquisition hunger. And we do know that they had tried to purchase Nintendo prior to these leaks, but we did get to read some interesting emails about them trying to buy Nintendo. So that basically wraps up everything that I wanted to touch on from the leaks. Johnny, did you have anything else you wanted to add, or are we good to move on?
No, I think we're good to move on.
All right.
This might be the most Xbox heavy episode I think we've ever had.
I do love me some Xbox. But
Xbox fanboys are going to be happy with this one.
They're loud people, those Xbox fanboys.
They sure
just
are.
Have to really play up the L of the leak, you know, somehow. Like maybe Photoshop an Xbox Series S made out of Swiss cheese.
You got to find a picture of like Phil Spencer like this.
Yeah.
I'd put that on the thumbnail.
It's time for our final segment of this week's show. That segment is, of course, One Up. Johnny, get us started here. You have something you're excited to talk about, sir.
I am very excited. You'll notice if you're watching on the YouTube video right now that I am a huge Hellboy fan, and I've always been a big Hellboy fan. Hellboy, the logo for my Twitch stream is very reminiscent of Hellboy. I have the library editions of all the Hellboy books behind me. I'm a big Hellboy fan. And so obviously I'm also really excited about the Hellboy Web of Word game, the new roguelike that's coming out this year. We saw a trailer for it, I think in a State of Play a bit back, and I was really pumped about that. But IGN just put up a 16-minute gameplay trailer, so you can really see what the game's going to sort of feel like. And a few of the things I really liked about this video. First off, I love the art style, and I love the animation style. Although the game looks like it's running at 60 frames a second, the character animations are not. The character animations are very comic booky, Spider-Verse sort of, because you know Spider-Verse is not 24 frames a second. I believe the characters are 12 frames a second. This sort of feels like that, and the game looks like it operates great. It looks like it's got a really fun sort of one-on-one combat scenario. Like it looks like although you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you're not really getting swarmed. It is kind of about locking onto a target, getting your parries, getting your blocks, getting your stuns, taking them out, and then moving on to the next target. But the thing I didn't know on this game that I was very excited about is as soon as Hellboy opened his mouth, I heard a very welcome voice, someone that a lot of us gamers will recognize his voice, anybody who is a fan of the John Wick movies and was sad to see him move on from this realm onto the next. Hellboy is voiced by none other than Lance Reddick. And dude had one of the most epic, recognizable voices ever. So the moment Hellboy opened his mouth, I was like, holy shit, that's Lance Reddick. I'm more excited for this game than I already was. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I think it comes out soon. Let me Google that while you're doing yours.
Yeah, so I've got my one up this week is a one up that bums me out. Bums me out. So you'll remember Callisto Protocol from late last year. A game that I really enjoyed. I had a great time with. I thought it was a fine game that just kind of got slogged for not being a halfway ripoff of Dead Space, even though the guy that invented Dead Space is the guy that made Callisto Protocol. Callisto Protocol really really solid game. You guys should play it. It's super cheap too. But Glenn Schofield, the creator of Dead Space and Callisto Protocol, is out. Glenn Schofield has left striking distance and is no longer the CEO of that game developer. So that game was projected to sell around 5 million copies. It is struggling to break 2 million, which is just really surprising to me. But that game's budget just spiraled out of control. That should have been a $50 million game, and I think it was something like 150 million. So you're muted, by the way. But it didn't live up to expectations in terms of sales.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to see Glenn Schofield go, because Glenn is a very nice person. He's one of those guys where, like, if you say something to him on Twitter, he responds. It doesn't matter who you are. He's super nice. He loves what he does. He's got a great mind for horror. So I'll be curious to see if he gets into something else.
Yeah.
But I imagine this is a pretty big blow for him. So,
I mean, it's such a bummer that 2 million copies of a $60, $70 video game is still considered a failure.
Well, it's because of how much the development cost.
Yeah.
If that was a $50 million project, they'd be high-fiving each other over 2 million sales. Right. But because that game's development went on for so long, and the cost has spiraled out of control, no bueno. So Glenn Schofield, I'm curious to see where you land next. Big fan of Dead Space, big fan of Callisto Protocols. That's my one up for this week. Johnny, any closing thoughts as we wrap up this week's episode?
No, I'm ready to jump back into the cosmos and continue my play of Starfield.
Very good. So we will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode of the Power Gamer Podcast for you to enjoy. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny
Tune
Paulus.
in next time. Take care.
Catch you on the flip-flop.
How am I supposed to do this with this little act? Oh, yeah. Take care, everyone.
Fucking